episode 23. A massive thank you to all our sponsors that have come on board to make the show possible. My co-host, as always, Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. Shannon, how are you?
I'm great, happy to be here.
And filling in for Jai Opetaia Camilleria while he's away in Sydney, Benny Harrington. Benny, how are you?
G'day Rob, how are you mate? I'm very happy to be here.
Benny Harrington, obviously coach of All-Star Boxing Academy, got a great little amateur program there. Some good pros coming through, Vegas Larfield, Miles Zalewski, Benny Hussein. None other than this man, Liam Wilson. Liam, how are you?
Good mate, good. Thanks for having me on.
A lot's been going on in boxing at the moment. Shannon, you've had a fight recently, but on the weekend, we saw Canelo Alvarez unify the super middleweight division.
Yeah, how good was he? Showing he's just so many levels above. There's not many, I don't think, out there right now that'll even come close.
MGM Grand, Benny, Caleb Plant was his opponent. The unification, first time to be done, first Mexican to do it, pretty special.
Yeah mate, he's unreal. He's the face of boxing at the moment. He's got all the belts in that division. I really enjoyed that fight. It was a really fun fight to watch. He made light work of him really, because those first few rounds, I know that Caleb looked like he was boxing well and he was doing good things, but it just seemed like a matter of time, didn't it?
Liam, he looked like he had a game plan and he wasn't worried about Caleb's power at all.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Caleb as well, so to see him lose like that was not good. I felt like the first few rounds were in Caleb's favour. Caleb just didn't have any effect towards him, and Canelo was able just to walk through that.
He did it easy. There was no respect for him at all, and he looked like his game plan was, I'm just going to beat him with a left hook.
Yeah.
I think it's Canelo goes into every fight the same. Like I was at the Canelo Khan fight, and the first few rounds, everyone's like, oh, like Khan's gone so well, and it's 12 rounds. Canelo will have his way eventually.
David Benavidez said that leading into the fight. He just said that Caleb Plant doesn't have the power to keep him off, and if Canelo doesn't respect your power, then he's just going to walk you down and have his way with you, and that's what it was. He just made light work of him, didn't he?
Do you think there's anybody in the super middleweight division that can bring it to him? Do you think Benavidez is ready?
Yeah, I think he would beat Canelo. Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that. Pretty confident, yeah.
Well, Canelo's showing that he's just a class above at the moment, and who he faces next is, we're all waiting to see. But an absolutely amazing performance there, unifying the super middleweight division. The first time a Mexican's done it in the 37 years that the super middleweight division's been around. We can only expect more from him. He is the king and the face and the pound-for-pound champion at the moment in boxing.
I really like the kid. He's a beast in the ring, and he's got this killer mentality, which is great.
Liam, in July of this year, you fought Joe Inoue, WBA ranked number 7 for the super featherweight Asia Pacific title. Mate, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that fight.
Yeah, it was a big dent in the pride, especially obviously losing this early in my career and losing the way I did. I feel like in the fight, the momentum was in my favour. After being dropped in the first round, I come back. It was in my favour. I was pushing the pace, and it was all going my way, but I think I was getting a bit too complacent, and that's where it caught up with me.
Do you think that the knockdown sort of had you chasing yourself, and that's why you to look at it now, to think at the time everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? But to look at it now, it's almost like you can think of it like you were chasing yourself, and that's why you walked into a couple more shots.
Yeah, probably.
Is that sort of you were like, oh no, so you came up out of desperation
I think
a little bit?
me getting dropped in the first round as well. Even if someone gets a good flurry on me, I always feel like I have to repay that and come back even harder.
Yeah.
But although I come back and I was fighting the first 2-3 rounds after it nice, and everything was in my favour, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, again, just me being not so cautious.
You're a class talent. You've got all the skills in the world. Benny, what goes through a coach's mind when you're seeing this kind of fight unfold? Bring the comment section and the people that are watching into a coach's mind.
When we look back at the fight, it's kind of, there's a few ways to look at it. Liam got hit in the back of the head early. Wasn't Joe's fault. Liam was kind of shoulder rolling at that time. From there, that could have held on all the way through the fight. He could have been, one punch away from disaster. But as he said just then, he was coming back very well. There's going to be a lot of adjustments that we make if we get the rematch, which is what we're after. I honestly, in my heart, believe that Liam wins that fight. So, yeah, I mean, from a coach's perspective looking in, yeah, you make a mistake in this game and you pay the price. So we made that mistake for a split second, and here we are chasing a rematch. We'll get back on the horse and we'll do what we have to do to make sure that Liam reaches his full potential.
Mate, we believe in you as well, and there were moments where you did look like you were coming back. There was a lot of hype behind you before this fight and leading up to it. Talk us through this learning experience. You're going to come back better for the rematch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a different one to overcome as well. I've always had the praise and expected to win, and then losing the way I did, it was a big eye opener to society and the boxing fans, my fans, supporters, and how people can drop off and come on. And I'm so excited if we can get this rematch as well. Just to come back and prove everybody wrong, and that's all that's on my mind.
How long did it take you before you went back into the gym and started going to work?
I had about 2-3 months off. I've been in the gym for the last 2 months working, just keeping fit, keeping the body in shape.
How important was the family time?
That's another reason. Like me, copping that loss was hard because when I first seen my little girl Charlotte, she said to me, she said, "Daddy, you lost," and I don't want to hear those words come out of her mouth again. So I want to try and redo my own history there and show the kids that Dad can beat the guy that beat him.
Mate, it's exciting. Very pumped up already. Everyone believes in you. We know you're a talent. Look, everyone's allowed to have an off night, and that happens. It happens to the best of us. But mate, we're looking for fireworks when that rematch happens.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
It was difficult, man, but I feel like it was a learning process. These things are, what doesn't break you makes you stronger, sort of thing. So.
On the 17th of this month, Tim Tszyu gets back in the ring against WBO number 7 Takeshi Inoue at Kudo Stadium at Sydney Olympic Park. It's a cracking undercard. Shotgun, get us started.
Yeah, the first one's Benny Hussein versus Darwin Segura, who's debuting at super welterweight.
Benny Hussein 3-1-0, trained out of All Stars. He's been all the last 6 weeks down with Timmy Tszyu. Tim loves it. We were talking to him on an interview the other day, which will be on the show. He rates Benny Hussein big time. He loves the work, he loves the energy as a human. What can you tell us about this fight?
Yeah, so this fight for Benny's gone out to many people, and they've really struggled to get anyone in the ring with him. That's a double-edged sword because we've got to bring him along at the right pace, but when everybody keeps knocking back the fight, and some guys that you wouldn't think would knock back the fight, they're really hard fights for us. But yeah, we've ended up with Darwin, who's a MMA fighter. He's a very successful MMA fighter actually. He's short, he's got big power, so Benny's going to have to sit on the outside and pick him apart. But in saying that, Benny does like to fight on the inside as well. So if the fight goes there, I wouldn't be shocked if Benny gets the job done in there either.
He's a new addition to the gym, Liam. What have you seen him bring to the gym?
He's different. He's different person, different fighter, different character. But he's a workhorse.
We saw him bounce back. Obviously, he went viral when his jaw got broken when he fought Benny Marnie, but he seems to have come back from that shock, and he's looking pretty good. The jaw must be fine if he's doing 10 rounds at a time with Tim Tszyu.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even his comeback fight, like he took some big shots in that fight, and he wore them well. Like he didn't look phased at all from it.
You mentioned that it was hard to match him. Glenn Jennings, Benny, said that he's the hardest super welterweight in the country to match at the moment.
Yeah, he would be because what the guys get out of fighting him might not be much, but he's a very dangerous fight for anybody. So he's signed a no limit contract now, so he's under those guys. They'll take complete care of him. We look forward to the next year, Benny getting in the ring and having some big fights.
From there, Viviana Ruiz and Jacinta Austin have a fight at bantamweight. Benny Sava coaching Viviana Ruiz. She's got a 2-fight deal with no limit at the moment. Benny Sava obviously part of the before the fight Instagram team with Skinny, he's saying, but the girl's getting on the card.
Yeah, it's awesome to see girls on the card again. Viviana she's got a real nice pro style, so it'll be good to see her come along, getting a few more fights.
Viviana finding it hard to get a match up as well, Benny.
Yeah, mate, very good for her to get on one of the biggest cards at the end of the year. I'm not too sure about the other girl, but I've seen there's a bit of banter on social media, so I'm sure there'll be no love in the ring. Hopefully someone goes to sleep.
From there, Jackson Murray is back in at heavyweight. Jackson Murray, very exciting southpaw.
Yes, yeah. I'm very excited to watch Jackson Murray. I saw him on the Wollongong card, was it? I think Liam was on that card, maybe against Tszyu. This guy, he's going to be a problem to anybody. He's a really, really big man. He's got a good skill set. He's got a very good coach. He's out of a good gym. Very excited to see that guy.
Yeah, we know Tara Moana wants that fight. I think the guys have been having a bit of a crack on social media. Yeah, even on the before the fight go live.
I reckon he's dangerous for the heavyweight division. Big, tall, lanky, heaps of range, and he can punch, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they can punch. They're both big boys. It'll be a cracking fight. But I don't think they'd be matching up against each other. They're both from big promotional teams. They're both early in the career. You'd imagine that even though the boys want the fight, that it's going to be a few fights away before they actually get in.
You would think so, but I mean, Tasman have showed that they're willing to throw their guys in. So, from their end, I think they'll take the fight. I'm not sure about Jackson's side. They might be a little bit more cautious, but I can't speak on their behalf. But I think we've all seen that Tasman do throw their guys in, so hopefully they can make that fight.
And we've got Dennis Hogan returning in a super welterweight fight against Tommy Brown.
Yeah, Dennis Hogan 28-4-1. Tommy Brown 42-7-2. Dennis, we haven't seen him fight since he fought Tim Tszyu and had that big loss in the 5th round.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight. It's probably the right fight at this stage of their careers. You know, they're both looking to have a big win to go into bigger and better things. If Dennis can be at 75% of his best, I think that Dennis wins this fight. But good luck to both boys.
There's no easy fights for Dennis at this stage, you'd think, Benny?
No, not when you've fought the likes of that he has. He's fought Charlo, he's fought Jamie, so he's not looking to rebuild completely. He's just got to get a couple of wins and then try and get a couple of big paydays and fulfill his dreams of probably getting that world title that's eluded him. Hard
fights against Munguia and then Jamal Charlo and then obviously Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, and they were all 3 back-to-back really hard fights. So this is definitely a good step for him to sort of show that he's still here. What's
he got to do, Liam? Does he have to win in impressive fashion?
Yeah, I think so. I think making a comeback at this end of his career sort of thing, and if he wants to get back to where he was, and that was in a tough position, it's going to be a long road.
Mate, we're expecting big things out of him, and just as a little side note, Tommy Brown was actually on Ultimate Tag that Sky was on, and using his fight name as Titan. So he's been out there. He's also been on Ninja Warrior, but in 17th of November he faces Dennis Hogan in a super welterweight fight. It's going to be an entertaining fight.
This is before the fight. You're in my gyms, Sanctum Forge.
From there we have our very own Jai Opetaia Camilleria, who's fighting Cohen Mizutia. Joel defending his WBC Australasia super welterweight title. It's an interesting fight, this one. We saw Cohen Mizutia versus Wade Ryan in his last hit out.
Joel's domestically ranked number 3 behind Tim and Ben Marnie. Very awkward. Like he's awkward to watch but loves big stage.
Yeah, so Joel won his title against Luke Woods, and as we all seen the other day, Luke Woods, he's a very tough dude. He's a very durable dude. So, yeah, Joel earned that, and he changed his tactic in that fight. Also at the end with Luke Woods, he sat on his chest when he needed to do something because it was kind of tight. This fight obviously has come up pretty late, I'm sure, because I know that Cohen's name was getting thrown around to some other boxes as well. But yeah, Joel does love the big stage, as Shannon said, so I predict Joel will get the chocolates in that one.
Big fight. Cohen Mizutia had a huge fight against Wade Ryan. Went the distance into deep water. We saw Wade Ryan change levels.
I think it's a tough fight for both of them. I think Cohen's come back to redeem himself after his last fight. And in that fight, he showed a lot of heart.
Obviously, Joel's been up here in Queensland. COVID has affected fighters and the amount of sparring and training that they've been getting. Joel's been getting work with a lot of good people.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally think that Joel's experience, like ring time experience and just professional boxing experience and his awkwardness is going to show through and get him the win.
We saw the fight against Adam Copeland. They're both very similar. They're tall, they're rangy. What's Cohen got to do to win this fight if he can against Joel?
I mean, I think what Cohen has to do, he's got to sit on the outside and he's got to pick him apart. Joel's awkward. He's got awkward movement. He's got like kind of that broken rhythm boxing. But yeah, Cohen's got to hit him hard and he's got to hit him plenty, but he's got to hit him from out long.
Speaking of Wade Ryan, he faces one of Takeshi Inoue's former opponents, Nathan Nwakchu, who is coming here to fight. It's going to be a big fight. They've been trying to get a match for Wade Ryan. He was originally supposed to be fighting Benny Marnie.
Yeah, I love watching Wade Ryan fight just because he's like, he's just tough and old school and it's exciting. I think he's going to go really well.
Wade Ryan, I mean, he's fast becoming one of Australia's favourites because he is the battler from the bush. And he's never out of it. He's always in it. He's fun to watch. He's elusive. He's whippy, and he's right there through till the end. So, yeah, I think it's a very well matched fight, and I couldn't pick the winner.
He's defending the IBA title. Do you reckon he's ready for the international stage?
The last few fights, he's obviously performed, and where else does he go from here? He has to go ahead and forward. It's gonna be a tough fight. I imagine this Japanese fella's coming to put on a show, and when you got Wade Ryan in there, that's what you're gonna expect.
Righto, we move from there to the main event, Tim Tszyu, Takeshi Inoue. The WBO Asia Pacific, the WBO Global title. They brought an international opponent over. This is his biggest fight. Yeah,
it's a big test for him, and it's one that he needs to prove that I think before he goes overseas himself. And but it's the perfect step up.
We saw Takeshi Inoue at the media press conference, Benny, hamming it up a little bit on the focus mitts, but he has fought Jamie Munguia and big names like that.
Yeah, he was full taking the piss there for sure. That was hilarious. But look at the guy. He's come in shape. He's ready to go. I don't think this is the biggest fight in Tim's career, in my opinion. I mean, when he's leading into the Jeff Horn fight, there was a lot of pressure on him there. He probably wasn't expected to win that. But in saying that, it is the biggest fight that's in front of him right now because he's got to pass this test to go internationally. But I mean, after having Benny Hassan down there with him doing their camp, yeah, he is on fire, and I think he'll make light work of this guy.
He's a stablemate of yours with no limit. What do you think of Tim Tszyu? He's, this is a big fight. Takeshi Inoue looks strong.
Confident gets the job done. It's a good step up. I think it's going to be an interesting one on how Tim reacts to that sort of style.
He looked big in that photo next to Joel that we saw on social media.
Didn't he? Can I make a prediction though? I reckon he goes down with body shots. I think probably after 7. I think Tim will just wear him down. Tim, that body shot he throws is amazing, and I just think that he's not bulletproof, and those body shots are going to hurt.
Yeah, he's very surgical, Tim. He's very systematic in his approach and the way that he just rips people apart. But when you think about Dennis Hogan fighting Jamie, and then this guy fighting Jamie, look what Tim did to Dennis. I mean, I can't see it being much different. And Dennis had a very tight fight with Jamie. Jamie, he belted this guy. So yeah, I can see Tim stopping him.
Yeah, I think it being an international fight, he want to put his dominance in nice and early. I think he'll start strong and finish strong as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to assert his dominance early. We're looking for a big performance. We were looking for Tim to win in fashion. Kudos Bank Arena at Sydney Olympic Park. They've moved it from the Gold Coast, but they're doing it big down there, no limit. It's going to be a huge fight, and we're looking for big things out of our boy.
And to see he'll be going overseas after that, massive.
You got a prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to say that he stops him in the second half of the fight, probably more closer to the ninth or 10th round, just late.
Liam?
Yeah, I think mid to late stoppage and probably body shot.
Like, I fought a Japanese girl, and I hit her with everything, and she just ran at me. So I'm pretty sure, I just feel like you're going to hurt this guy to the body before you're going to hurt him to the head.
We caught up with Tim Tszyu via a Zoom interview, and this is what he had to say. Tim Tszyu, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, going well.
Good. You've got a big fight November 17th against Takeshi Inoue, and you've got an absolutely regimented schedule when it comes to training and fighting. Like, for example, right now, you must be doing something that's definitely preparing you for the fight. What are you doing?
Right now, I'm getting a foot massage. But I just finished 13 rounds with the boys, so, something you got to spoil yourself.
I love how you toughened that up. Yeah, foot massage, but 13 rounds with the boys. Mate, it's always good to catch up with you. You look happy. You look healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been training super hard for this one, so yeah, I'm in a good place. I'm quite excited for the future. I'm enjoying this whole process, man. I'm 27 years old, and this is super fun what I'm doing, and yeah, I'm just enjoying the whole journey of this boxing.
Man, and so you should. You work hard for it. You put in time and time and time again, and you don't put in half-assed. You always do everything 100%. Where are you at the moment?
Oh, right now we're what is it? Nearly just under 2 weeks out. So pushing that last little bit. I've been sparring three sparrings a week, so it's been pretty full on for the last 8 weeks. 32 rounds each week, so it's quite intense. But I'm reaching the peak. The last week or so, you start cooling down, and you just want to reach that peak at the right time.
Have you had to pull yourself back? Has the team pull yourself back, or are you comfortable with that?
To a certain extent, I'm doing things more professionally now. Before I used to flog myself. I couldn't breathe anymore. Where I used to get up in the morning and I couldn't run, and I was just flogging myself too much. Now I'm doing things smarter, and really working on my recovery and stuff like that now as well. So everything happens for a reason, and everything's falling apart real nicely right now.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So with the foot massage, are the toenails going to get painted as well, or?
No, we're not going that far.
It'll be all blue colours anyway, no doubt.
Yeah, that's it, bro. You know it.
How happy have you been with this camp?
Yeah, it's been well. It's been well. Every camp's got its own challenges, of course. But no, this camp's been well. I've had Benny Hassan join me for the last 6 weeks, and he's been pushing rounds, and I've had other fresh opponents come in as well. So again, a lot of work, a lot of hard work. But I've seen this Takeshi guy, and he's he's dangerous in certain ways, and he's tough, and they're the type of fighters that you're going to keep hitting, and they're going to keep walking forward. So it's all about timing in this fight for myself.
Are you especially excited for this one? Does this feel like you're really stepping forward now?
Yeah, look, I'm enjoying this whole process. At the end of the day, I'm 27 years old, and I'm fighting in front of all of Australia, all of the world at such a young age. And you know what? When the world title does present itself, I'll be ready. I'm used to all these media obligations. I'm used to all this attention. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't bother me. Again, I'm enjoying the process, and I'm learning new things each time, and I'm learning new things each camp. So this shit's fun, man.
It's good to hear, man. You've got a solid team around you. Everyone must be pretty happy. Igor, Boris, Glenn, everyone's very happy with the way things have been through this one.
Yeah. They always give me reality checks. My grandpa's on my back non-stop, man. He doesn't leave me alone. And Igor's always pushing me. And Glenn, you know how Glenn is as well. He's non-stop. So we got a good team around me. And everything falls so perfectly. We're so loyal to each other, and that's all that matters.
Big introduction with Benny Hussein coming in for 6 weeks. You must be seeing a lot of good things out of him, not just as a sparring partner, but as a human and person to have around camp for this period of time.
Yeah, bro. He's brought in this good energy. I really like the kid. He's a beast in the ring, and he's got this killer mentality, which is great. He's a good guy, an even better fighter as well. And I guarantee you, this guy's going to reach good. He's going to do good things.
Mate, he's a talent, and again, great energy. We were talking to him on a Go Live the other night. He's loving being down there with you, soaking it up big time. And the only thing he had to say about you was the double under competition that you had when you were finishing off on the road, bro.
Oh god,
360.
He stitched me up, bro. Yeah, 360 was. He stitched me up. I thought he was going to do a lot. So I was like, all right, I'll start first, and I'll give him something to work for. I think he only did like 50. And I was like, oh, are you serious, bro? Couldn't you tell me that you can only do like 50? I would have only done maybe like 70 or so. Pushed myself mentally through 360. It was like 4 minutes in. So yeah, he's a stitch up.
He said something about you could have possibly pushed for 500 had he kept you going.
Yeah, I had to slow down. I was like 350 in. I was like, nah, he can't beat that. I was like, no way. And if he does, all right, I'll go do 500.
I'm glad you're not too competitive. Oh, man.
It's a sickness, bro.
I know that you've been saying a lot in your media lately that this will be one of the few last fights that you're having in Australia.
Yeah.
The Australian public's got to get used to the fact that you're going to dip your toe in the international waters, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, look, there's so much you can do. Like, if you want to fight the big boys, I think you got to go there and fight them. I knew that all the time. It was just a matter of time building up a base here. So once we go there, we're gonna be main event and take over.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, well, next year's the year. I had my birthday actually the other day, and I was thinking, you know what, this is my last year as a non-world champion.
We're going to let you go. Enjoy your foot massage. I will talk to you after the fight. The country's behind you as always. Before the fight is behind you as always. Go get them.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate what you do for the show, and thank you to all my fans, everyone up in Queensland. I said it before, but I'll be back there, and hopefully we can bring a world title there.
So there we have it. That was the main event, Tim Tszyu versus Takeshi Inoue. The undercard, it's going to be a great fight down there November 17th. Looking for big things, and can't wait to see it. Our gym of the week this week is Sanctum Forge. We caught up with Paul Briggs and the team out there, and this is what they had to say.
I'm Paul Briggs, a former #1 rated light heavyweight on the planet with the WBC. This is before the fight. You're in my gyms, Sanctum Forge. Welcome.
We just saw the stretching. Why is the stretching so important before you start training?
Stretching traditionally has always been something that boxers do after, or people do after the activities that they do. Having spent a couple of years studying with one of the best coaching organisations on the planet, King Sport International, spending, doing camps in Utah in the United States and learning, especially after having the career that I had. Stretching creates length in the muscle, and when we reduce the tension in the muscle as well, there's a greater advantage due to a lack of injury.
Why Sanctum Forge? Why did Paul Briggs want to open up a gym? Why did he want to give back to the boxing community?
From the age of 4, I developed an incredible passion for boxing. I was sitting at the corner of a makeshift ring in Arnhem Land, Northern Territory. My father was refereeing, and I had no idea what I was watching. I was 4 years old, but I just knew this is what I want to do, And then from that point on, everything that I did was all about boxing, The culture that we create in here is based off the back of that passion, that I've developed over my lifetime being in the fight game. I'm passionate about this. I don't work. I'm very, very blessed that I get to come to this incredible place and get with incredible people and just pass on my passion, and that kind of resonates out across the whole space.
Name Sanctum Forge, very different when it comes to boxing.
Yes, Sanctum is a place of peace. Yeah, and I've always been told that a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I've learned over my time that is true, and the forge is where the ovens that the Spartans used to create their swords out of. So it's a peaceful place where warriors are born.
A lot of men's work occurs here, and the transformation that takes place outside of the gym as a result can be profound.
Nate Nelson, what does Sanctum Forge mean to you?
We don't just look at it in one way, we look at boxing for the whole picture, so spiritually, mentally and physically as well. And just great atmosphere and very welcoming gym.
We have a lot of focus on technique here, whereas other gyms might let you dance around and do whatever you want, but it's very focused. All the coaches are very tuned into that, and Paul Briggs as a leader really hones in his focus to that technique. I would recommend Sanctum Forge to everyone that I meet because it improves your state of living, and if you really want to learn boxing and define your technique and your movement, whether it's for a fitness thing or for a boxing.
How was today's session?
Yeah, it's good. Good session. Paul worked us a bit, so I'm still feeling good, so it's good.
How was he as a coach?
Yeah, Paul's good as a coach. He's always on the ear if you're starting to adjust the wrong way or doing something wrong, which makes it better for you, always helping you improve.
So I've only just started a couple of months in. I came because father-son time, so we can just do something together. I got to know Paul and really liked the work he was doing with kids and dads and stuff like that. So we thought we'd give it a go.
What do you love about it?
Everything.
Punching dad?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're here at the gym?
Good. And I get to box and train.
It was good, boxing giving back?
Yeah, enjoy it. Seeing his level of improvement every weekend, definitely enjoying that.
Today it was general population class, so it's really just about teaching the basics. And the funny thing is, when you've got that many guys in the gym, you've got to cater to the fact that people want to work out as much as they want to learn boxing. So it's a bit of a juggle between that happy medium of not being too over pedantic with the technical side of it. A lot of the general population will go, teaching the technical understanding of the basics of boxing, but also giving them a workout. Energy is always amazing, and that's something that I've really prided myself on. It's something I learned off my father. My father was amazing at creating incredible energy within a gym, and it's just something that I think is hereditary and that I picked up from him, and that's what I love. People come into a gym and it's like, oosh, oosh. it's not conducive of people having fun, and that's the biggest thing. Like training is all about fun. If people are having fun, if fighters having fun, he's a dangerous fighter. When they can quiet their mind, come in here, have a hell of a lot of fun, and also learn something. If you walk away from here at the end of the session with one new understanding, you're doing better than most.
So there we have it. Paul Briggs doing great things out there, world class. He's been in the game for a long time, helping out with the NDIS as well. Down there in Burleigh, so Paul Briggs doing great things out there at Sanctum Forge. Jai Opetaia has a fight coming up against Trent Broadhurst December 4th at the Fortitude Music Hall on the Tasman Fighters Fight Night. Massive fight. He's still got to get past Trent Broadhurst before he gets a mandatory against Maris Bradis, but this is what Jai had to say when we caught up with him in camp. Jai Opetaia, the king of the cruiserweights in Australia, ranked number 3 with the IBF. You've made the move to the Gold Coast to surround yourself at Wicked Bodies. What prompted that move?
Just being up here last year through that COVID period, it was just an awesome fit, man. You know, everything was here that I needed, and you know, also it was away from a lot of distractions at home. You know, not saying there's not distractions here, but you know, I felt like it was just a better sort of atmosphere to be around. So yeah, you know, I'm 26 now, so got no time away, so these next couple of years are very precious, and you know I want to use them wisely, certainly.
So you hear these names like Bradis and Okoli, and how do you match up with them, and how do you think you match up with them?
Man, I felt like I've been on that level for quite a while, and I feel like I've proved it in my fights. You know, people say I haven't sort of fought those international opponents, but I feel like I've proved with my last couple of opponents that, you know, without sounding, you know, too disrespectful, you know, I haven't been beating them, I've been bashing them, you know what I mean? Like, I've been beating them very convincingly.
Mark Matthew, the drill sergeant, Wicked Bods Boxing Gym and the Refuel Cafe. Jai Opetaia, he's looking pretty good.
Mate, he is. He's a different athlete. You know? He's very easy for me. You know? I've lived and breathed this stuff for 24 years, and you don't come across people like him very often.
What did we work on today?
I'd say we just worked through some of our aerobic and anaerobic thresholds. You know, we worked through 3-minute rounds. I like to put a couple of 3-minute rounds back to back, and don't give him a rest in the middle. Clearly, when he just goes back into sparring and that sort of stuff, it feels a little bit different for him. So we're just going through that phase at the moment. Again, we had to change things back because we thought we were fighting this weekend. So we've sort of I dropped him off a little bit last week, and then we'll pick it back up again this week.
Mate, he's looking like a well-oiled machine at the moment.
He is, but he feels good and he's happy. You know, he's happy, and that's important for any athlete. Like, if you're not happy, or any relationship, or it's a work relationship or marriage or anything, you're not happy, then you're not going to be at your best, are you? But he's happy and he's confident, and as I said, it's pretty easy for him up here. He's got all his food gets cooked for him. He walks in the gym, he gets told what to do. All he's got to do is just give me 100%, give himself 100%, and punch people's face in. He's fighting for a legitimate world title. You can't just do that on your own, you know, without a really good team around you. You've got to be working on your sports science, your sports psychology, your food. Everything has to be 100%. Because if you think Bradis is not doing it, you're kidding yourself. You know, he's not out there just running track work and hitting the bag. He's got a full team behind him. He's a world champion. So unless we match that and match his intensity, we're wasting our time.
We caught up with you a few months ago before you went back home, and obviously we're in the height of COVID, and you know the hand was in some issues. What did you have to do mentally to make sure that you stayed on track and stayed on the path? Because you seem like you've come back in high spirits and 100%.
Yeah, man, I don't think people really realise how much of a toll it takes on you mentally having an injury, you know what I mean? Especially being at that stage of my career where I felt like everything was about to start rolling, and you know, I felt like I could have got this fight a lot earlier. It was difficult, man, but I feel like it was a learning process. You know, these things are, you know, what doesn't break you makes you stronger, sort of thing. So, you know, it's made me more excited, and it's made me more keen to get in the ring. You know, even just having it taken away from you, you know, being able to train every day, all day, I took that for granted. You know, not even being able to put on a glove and punch the bag. You know, being told like you are not allowed to put on a glove. I was thinking, what? Like how? I'm a bot, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good, man. It was a learning process, and you know, like you said, I am back and I'm feeling good now. Very exciting times, hey, very exciting times. Just like, you know, first things first, we got this December fight and we're fully focused on it. You know, I don't want anyone to think we're looking past him, because, you know, we're coming in there 100%, but you know, at the moment we're training like a world champion. We're not training, you know, for a Queensland title, we're not training for a New South Wales title, Australian title, we're training for a world title. And, you know, the borders are starting to open and it's exciting times, and there's nothing more I want is to bring those big fights here to Australia. I feel like, you know, we've done our hard yards, you know, and Australian boxing's starting to build up more and more, so, you know, being able to bring big fights here is just awesome. Once you win that world title, though, it's just all the hard work pays off. You know, just a little kid from the Central Coast, you know, grinding, bro. You know, we never got nothing really given to us. We earned all we got. So, you know, it's what dreams are made of, bro.
There we have it, Jai Opetaia, king of the cruiserweights. It's looking pretty good in camp. We're expecting big things against this fight against Trent Broadhurst, December 4th at the Fortitude Music Hall. It's a big ask for Maris Bradis.
Yeah, I think it's a tough fight. He's fought the best there is. He won the Super 6, I think, last year, I think it was. And I think, yeah, Jai's got his hands full there.
Jai's definitely international. He's quality. He's ready for the big stage, Benny.
Yeah, stylistically, that's not the worst matchup. He's very calculated. He's a little bit like, I put the similarity to Liam Paro. They're both very calculated. They're very slick. That style, obviously, Bradis is going to push up on him, but you know, I know that Jai's not the type of guy that's going to decide to bite down and have a tear up. He's going to stick to his game plan, and I think it's a winnable fight. It's a tough fight, but I mean, it's a world title. It's supposed to be tough.
Well, he's preparing to the best of his ability. He's got a great team around him, and we're all behind Jai with this one. He's talking about legacy when it comes to this fight, and I think he's ready for the international stage. Speaking of the international stage, we're seeing massive things at the moment with Liam Paro and Dempsey McKean, both making it overseas. Paro sparring the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. He's been sparring Rowley, and there's a lot of attention. We're expecting a fight announcement shortly off him. And we're also looking at Dempsey McKean to have a fight announcement possibly with Matchroom. He's been getting rounds in with Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, and getting ready to make a big name for himself in the heavyweight divisions.
Yeah, mate, how good's that? You know, Ange has had those guys, or he's been the man in Queensland for so long, and to see his guys now go on to the international stage, I mean, they're both great guys. They come from humble beginnings, and you know, if they can get on those big, I've heard it's a Matchroom card, so if they can get on those, mate, how good. Unbelievable for Queensland boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
With not much going on at the moment, the best idea was to get him over there and get some international camps happening.
I believe Alfie's either over there or heading over there soon, but I think it's a huge move and it's a great move.
You'd be itching to get yourself over to the international waters as well to get some camps in or some fights?
Yeah, something I'd love to do. Get over there and test myself against those American fighters or whoever's over there, and get some good sparring and see where I'm at.
So there we have it, guys. Lots of things going on. Hopefully your shoulder's going to be healed up soon. You'll be back in for next year. Big things coming with you, Liam Wilson. Benny, thanks for coming on. I'm Rob Shife. You're watching Before the Fight.